what are some other ways that I can break through that gatekeeper and be on more podcasts? That's a goal of mine for this year. What are some other tips? Give me some quick wins, brother.
Man, I've got some stuff for you. First off, most people who send you those emails, the pitches are just so bad, right? Like,
horrible.
Like you read it and you're like, no, nobody that you ever know is a lot of my show now. Like, because it's just so bad.
Right.
But I got a few things. Like the pitch is really important. Like the way you do outreach, and the most common thing I hear in podcast guesting is, man, I can't get any shows to have me on their show. And I always first off say, because I used to be like, okay, well, let's figure out if it's the right kind of show. No, the very first thing is, what does your pitch look like? Like, what does it even look like that you're sending somebody? And I'll tell you what, 90% of the time, or even higher than that probably, when people send me the pitch, that is absolutely the problem. It's longer than any book it's longer than the Bible. It's like 4,000 pages. I'm like, no one wants to read this bio. Like, this is terrible. So I'll kind of give you my framework that's worked really well for me. I'm still consistently tweaking this, but this has helped me a lot. The first thing is to lead with value. Like the very first thing you have to do is lead with value. So if I'm going to reach out, I'm not going to be like, hey, my name's Alex Sanfilippo. I'm going to say, hey, Mark, really enjoyed your show. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to go beyond that and actually leave a review of it. I'm going to reference the episode I listened to. I'm going to leave a review on the show. And I'm actually going to send a screenshot with that message I send out. So I'll usually upload it to like my Google Drive, and I'll just get the public link and I'll send it there. So really enjoyed the show. It really spoke to me. I decided to leave you a review. Thanks so much. Something really short like that. The next thing I do is I make a meaningful request, because so many people, they beat around the bush. Like they don't actually ask to be on the show. They just kind of like, oh, it'd be really cool to be on your show one day. Did I mention it'd be cool to be on your show? No, I straight up say, hey, I'd love to be on your show, but I go a step further than that. I look at the recent episodes of that show to see if they've covered topics that I think that I could cover, or if there's gaps that I know that I could fill. Recently, I had somebody, they have a podcast for podcasts specifically, and they haven't had somebody on to talk about SOPs since June 2015. And I told them that. I'm like, hey, I listened to your episode back on June 2015 and realized it's been almost 7 years or 6.5 years since you've talked about that topic. That's one that I love to cover. Do you think it'd be valuable to go back and talk about that again? If so, I'd be honored to be a guest. Like, that's a meaningful request. Like, I did my research, and I think that really helps a lot. The next thing to do is offer credibility. So if you know something, like go to LinkedIn, or anywhere at this point, if you go to any social platform, you can see who you have in common with those people. If you have a friend in common, like if I go to somebody you know, Mark, and I want to be on their show and mention, oh, and just for credibility's sake, I'll literally say that. I was just on Mark's show last week. It was a really good episode. Here's a link to it if it's out, or it'll be out in a couple weeks. Because now what that did to that person, they now know, oh, Mark is awesome. If Mark trusts Alex, then I can trust Alex. Like, it builds that credibility instantly. And the next thing that I'll mention here is to mention that you'd share the episode. So yeah, I'd love to record if it makes sense to you. I'd absolutely love to share the episode on my social, and I'll send it out to my email list as well. I just think it'd be really valuable for everyone to hear. That's for a host. It's like, okay, this person's saying they will share, which is really hard to get people to do, right? They're upfront telling me they will share. And then the last thing, number 5, the last thing I'll mention is to make it easy to say no. Make it easy to say no. What I mean by that is, a lot of people tell you don't do this, but I tell people the opposite. Literally say in it, and this is what I say, hey, no pressure, of course, I only want to be on the show if I can add value. So just tell me if it's a no problem either way. Thanks again for the consideration. And I throw that in there because now I don't get the silence. Because here's the thing, about just the first 4 steps, no one wants to break my heart now, because they're like, man, he put it all on the line. So they would rather just ignore it. So sometimes I hear a no, but I hear back when usually they wouldn't respond, but I gave them room and permission to tell me no without it hurting my feelings. And that's actually helped me a lot and open up some dialogue to some other things we can do when I can't be on the show, but how we can collaborate. So those are my 5 steps, man. I know I just went on like a crazy rant there, but I hope that was somewhat valuable for everybody.
Thanks for watching Mark SAVANT Media. Here we're going to help you create a better content in less time and turn that attention into income. If you love this video, you're going to love these videos here. Click the one. Me and my team specially selected this just for you. Click the link. Check out the video. I'll catch you here next time on Mark SAVANT Media.